Hello, everyone. You're listening to Uncomfortable Truths with Yuka Phoenix, where I talk about politics, religion, and other BS I find interesting. Today, for politics, we will take a look at John Adams, the good, the bad, and the burden of leadership. When people think of America's early presidents, one name tends to get overshadowed. George Washington is a legend. Thomas Jefferson is the philosopher, and then there's the second president, John Adams, often described as brilliant, stubborn, principled, and deeply controversial. So who was John Adams, really? A defender of liberty, a leader who overreached, or something far more complicated? To understand Adams, you have to understand the moment he stepped into. He became president in 1797, just a few years after the Constitution was ratified. The country was fragile, the political system was new, and there was no clear blueprint for how the president should behave. Washington had set the tone, but Adams had to prove whether the system itself could survive beyond its founding figure. The good, a mind for independence and principles. Before Adams was ever president, he had already played a critical role in shaping the nation. He was one of the strongest advocates for independence from Britain. While others hesitated, Adams pushed forward, arguing that independence wasn't just desirable, but necessary. He also served as a diplomat in Europe, helping secure alliances and ultimately playing a role in negotiating the Treaty of Paris, which officially ended the Revolutionary War. So right from the start, Adams wasn't just a participant in history, he was helping direct it. He avoided war with France. One of the most important and often looked parts of Adams' presidency involved foreign policy. At the time, the United States was caught between two major powers, Britain, revolutionary France. Tensions with France escalated into what's known as the Quasi-War, a naval conflict that never became a full-scale war but could have. Many in Adams' own party, the Federalists, wanted full war with France. Adams didn't. Instead, he pursued diplomacy even when it made him politically unpopular. This is one of Adams' strongest moments as a leader. He resisted pressure, he avoided a potential devastating war, and he prioritized long-term stability over short-term political gain. After the Boston Massacre, Adams, who supported the Patriot cause, defended British soldiers in court. Why? Because he believed that justice had to apply even to your enemies. That's not an easy position to take, especially in a moment of national anger, because it shows something important. Adams wasn't just driven by ideology, he was driven by principles. Now the bad, the Alien and Sedition Acts. Now we shift to the other side of Adams' presidency, and this is where things get controversial. In 1798, Adams signed into law a series of measures known as the Alien and Sedition Acts. These laws made it harder for immigrants to become citizens, allowed the government to deport non-citizens deemed dangerous, criminalized certain forms of criticism against the government. Criticizing the government could lead to fines or even jail time. Supporters argued that these laws were necessary for national security, especially with tensions rising with France. But critics saw something very different, a violation of free speech, a dangerous expansion of government power. Here's the uncomfortable truth. One of the founders of American independence signed laws that limited political speech, that contradicted contradiction is part of Adams' legacy. Political polarization and overreach. Adams' presidency also took place during the rise of America's first political parties, the Federalist Adams Party and the Democratic Republicans, led by Thomas Jefferson. These weren't just disagreements, they were intense personal and often hostile conflicts. Adams struggled to manage this division. He was known for being combative, taking criticism personally, distrusting his political opponents. This contributed to a growing sense of political instability, and in some cases, it made him appear more authoritarian than he may have intended. Midnight judges. As Adams' presidency came to an end, he made a controversial move. He appointed a number of Federalist judges just before leaving office, known as the Midnight Judges. This was seen by critics as an attempt to maintain political influence after losing power. Was it legal? Yes. Was it politically strategic? Absolutely. Was it controversial? Definitely. The complexity of Adams. So what do we do with all this? On one hand, he helped secure independence. He avoided war. He believed in law and structure. On the other, he signed laws restricting speech. He struggled with political opposition. He made moves that raised concerns about power. John Adams wasn't a contradiction. He was a reflection of the tension built into leadership itself. The bigger question. Adams forces us to ask something deeper. Can someone defend liberty and still limit it under pressure? Can a leader act in the interest of instability while compromising certain freedoms? Uncomfortable truth. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Leadership isn't just about ideals. It's about decisions made under pressure, and those decisions don't always align perfectly with those ideals. Conclusion. John Adams may not have the same legacy as Washington or Jefferson, but his presidency tested something just as important: whether the United States could survive disagreement, pressure, and imperfection, and in many ways it did. Maybe the real lesson of Adams isn't that he was right or wrong. It's this: even the people who helped build the system struggle to live up to it. That's it for politics. Thank you for listening, and subscribe to this podcast or YouTube video. You can visit my site and Patreon and the links in the notes. I hope everyone has an awesome day.